Is just a willpower problem? Neuroscience says otherwise. Let's dive in.
Joe tried everything. Apps, blockers, accountability partners, cold showers at 2 a.m. 7 years of this is the last time. And every time the craving came, he did what felt right. He fought it. And every time, it won. Here's why. Fighting a craving doesn't weaken it. Neurologically, it strengthens it. Your brain interprets resistance as a threat signal and responds by escalating the urge. This isn't weakness. This is survival wiring, and you can interrupt it in under 60 seconds. Here's exactly how.
Here's what nobody explained to Joe, or to most people struggling with addiction. Your brain has one core directive: survive. And it uses dopamine to carry out that mission. But dopamine isn't what most people think. It doesn't create pleasure. It creates hunger. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge spent years proving this. Dopamine drives wanting, not liking. It's the reaching, not the reward. So the first time an addictive behavior brings relief, whether it's a drink after a brutal day, a hit of dopamine from a screen, or anything else that quiets the noise, your brain doesn't say, "That felt good." It says, "Do that again. That kept us alive." And it starts building a case. Each repetition makes the tag stronger. Each repetition downgrades your dopamine receptors, making ordinary life feel flatter, grayer, less worth showing up for. Until you're not chasing the behavior because it feels amazing. You're chasing it because without it, nothing else does. That's where Joe was after 7 years. Not chasing pleasure, chasing normal.
By year 7, Joe knew exactly how it started. Not with a decision, with a feeling. Late at night, a restlessness he couldn't name. Then pressure building in his chest. Then that voice. Just this once. And Joe would do what felt right. He'd clench his jaw, lock his phone in another room, tell himself, "Not tonight, I'm stronger than this." And for a few minutes, it almost worked. Then his heart would start racing. His thoughts would narrow to one thing. The pressure would double. And the urge that started as a whisper became the only thing in the room. Sound familiar? Here's what was actually happening in Joe's brain. The moment he fought the craving, his nervous system read that resistance as a threat. Cortisol spiked, fight or flight activated, and glutamate, the brain's accelerator, flooded the reward circuit. He wasn't making the urge smaller. He was pouring fuel on it. Joe didn't lack willpower. He was using the right effort in exactly the wrong direction. Then Joe found something that changed everything. Not a new app, not a stronger motivation speech. A technique from behavioral psychology called urge surfing. The premise sounds almost too simple. Don't fight the craving, observe it. Next time the urge hit, Joe didn't clench. He got curious. He asked himself 3 questions. 1, how strong is it? He rated it 8 out of 10. 2, where do I feel it? Chest, tight, rising. 3, what exactly does it feel like? Pressure, heat, a pulling sensation. He sat with it. Didn't run, didn't resist, just watched. 30 seconds later, he rated it again. 6, then 4, then almost nothing. Joe didn't do anything to the urge, he just stopped feeding it. Here's the neuroscience behind why that works. Cravings run on dopamine surges, and dopamine surges are designed to be temporary. Research shows that an unacted upon craving typically peaks within 15 to 20 minutes, then falls on its own. Your brain cannot sustain the surge indefinitely. It was never built to. The problem was never that Joe's cravings were unbeatable. The problem was that fighting them reset the clock every single time. Observation lets the wave rise and break naturally. Joe wasn't stronger than the urge. He just finally stopped standing in front of it. Now, here's how you do this yourself. Here's what was happening in Joe's brain the moment he stopped fighting and started watching. Two systems were shifting. The amygdala, your brain's threat detector, began powering down. No resistance signal, no danger flag, no need to escalate. And the prefrontal cortex, the part of you that thinks, decides, and chooses, came back online. That shift has a name in neuroscience. Researchers at the University of Washington studying mindfulness-based relapse prevention found that this exact mechanism, observation over suppression, produces measurable increases in impulse control and measurable drops in emotional reactivity. Not after months of therapy, within a single session. Joe still felt urges after that night, but something fundamental had changed. Before, an urge meant emergency. His body would flood, his thinking would collapse, the craving felt like a command. After, an urge was just information, a signal from an old survival system that hadn't yet learned it no longer needed to protect him that way. He wasn't cured, but for the first time in 7 years, he was in the room with the urge instead of being consumed by it.
This is the moment that stays with them. Addiction was never about weakness. It was about a brain doing exactly what it was designed to do, protect you from pain using the only tool it had learned to trust. Joe didn't break free because he finally found enough willpower to fight harder. He broke free because he stopped mistaking the alarm for the emergency. The urge was never the enemy. It was a signal from a survival system that hadn't yet learned you're safe now. So next time the craving comes, don't attack it. Study it. Where is it? How strong? What does it feel like? Sit with it for 60 seconds and watch what a wave does when you stop fighting it. It breaks. If this gave you a new way to think about what you're going through, share it with one person who needs to hear it. That one share could be someone's turning point. If you want more content on brain science, habit change, and recovery, subscribe. I put out new videos every week. And drop "I'm surfing" in the comments. It tells me this reached you, and it reminds everyone reading that they're not alone in this. You were never broken. You just needed a better map. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Stay healthy, stay inspired, and thanks for watching.